Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is the weekly show, and my name is Jay. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend, and now it's time to take a look at the box office results for January 16th through the 18th. So here's a look at the top five, and again, these numbers I pulled off of boxofficemojo.com. So with that, let's take a look. So Avatar Fire and Ash once again finished in the first place position, bringing in $14.5 million. In second place was the new movie 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, which brought in $13 million. Third place was Zootopia 2 with $9.2 million. Rounding out the top five, we have The Housemaid at $8.6 million. Followed by Marty Supreme at $5.5 million. All right, so with that, as far as the top five, it's incredible that Avatar Fire and Ash is still holding on to the number one position. And this movie opened back in December of 2025, specifically December 19th. Right now, the total worldwide gross is $1.3 billion. Obviously, at this rate, it's not going to catch Avatar: The Way of Water or the first Avatar movie, which those two movies are, I believe, are in the top five as far as highest grossing, not counting inflation. So, as far as how long this movie could stay in the number one position, we'll see. I think Mercy, which opens up this weekend, has the potential to challenge Avatar for the number one position. If Mercy, for some reason, falls short, then Send Help looks like a strong possibility. That new movie with Rachel McAdams, and it's basically like a cross between like a horror movie and Lost and Castaway, that movie. So, which I'm actually excited for, and I can't wait to see that when that opens. So we will take a look. The other thing of note as far as the top five, keep in mind, like, we're in Oscar season. So could some of these movies stick around in the top five, possibly top 10 of the ones that end up earning Oscar nominations? It's quite possible. Marty Supreme could very well get some Oscar nominations. Avatar Fire and Ash will most likely get an Oscar nomination or two. The Housemaid, possibly The Housemaid. But yeah, so only way to find out is to wait for the Oscar nominations to be announced. So, as I mentioned, the newest movie this past weekend was 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. So my thoughts on that movie, as far as rating, I would give it a B+. I thought it was a good movie. It was better than the previous movie, 28 Years Later, which opened last year. I thought the movie had a good presentation to it. It was beautifully presented. It was a beautifully presented world in a chaotic post-apocalyptic world. There were some brilliant performances by some of the cast as well. The movie does leave more questions than answers. I think clearly they're setting up another movie. For this one. Some parts of the movie did drag. I think it dragged a little bit in the beginning and a little bit in the middle. So there were some pacing issues. So, but other than that, I thought it was pretty good. It was a fun movie. So I would go B+ with 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. All right. So with that, now we're going to move into some movie news. Okay, so here's what's been happening in the world of movies and entertainment. So first up, according to Netflix, they want to keep Warner Brothers movies in theaters for at least 45 days. This was a news article I found according to Variety. Ted Sarandos, co-CEO of Netflix, basically stated this during an interview, I believe, with the New York Times. He states that he wants to make money from the theatrical movie business, and that's something that they're entering in, and that they are highly competitive, and they want to succeed and make money. So, yeah, I'm glad that that's what he's thinking. Are they going to hold true to that? We will see if this proposal gets approved. It has to get approval from the appropriate governing bodies, and then the shareholders have to approve it, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, just taking all of Warner Brothers movies and just sending them right to streaming, you're not going to make that much money off of it. Because with Netflix, yes, they have Netflix House, which they just have 2 locations open as of right now, but putting Netflix House off to the side, their only sources of income are subscription services and ad revenue, along with maybe any possible deals that they have with other companies that ends up being a source of income for them. So yeah, they need continuous revenue coming in, and for a subscription service for Netflix, that's probably depending on what you're getting, could be around 20, could be slightly under 20, could be a little bit more, it depends. But they're also at the same time banking on somebody or a family signing up for a Netflix account. They use it a few times and then they stop using it, and then each month they keep getting billed, or yearly they keep getting billed. So that's what a lot of streaming services such as Netflix kind of bank on. So yeah, the only way that they'll remain successful financially is to keep the movies going as is. Warner Brothers handle the production of the movies, honor the theatrical window. That's the best way where Netflix can, be successful in the movie theatrical business. At the same time, will they keep their word? So again, we'll have to wait and see. Next up, Kathleen Kennedy, who was the head of Lucasfilm for quite a while, ended up stepping down. Now, Kathleen Kennedy will remain on as a producer for a couple of upcoming projects for Lucasfilm. Those being The Mandalorian in Grogu and Star Wars Starfighter. So she'll still remain tied to those projects, but her time as president of Lucasfilm is done. Dave Filoni, if I'm pronouncing that right, he's been promoted to president and chief creative officer of Lucasfilm. And Lynn Brennan will be the co-president as well for Lucasfilm. And both of them will report to Alan Bergman, who is the co-chair of Disney Entertainment. So definitely some moving parts there over at Lucasfilm. I believe this is probably the fresh start that they need, considering the last several years, as far as Lucasfilm, has been a bit divisive, with the vibe coming off a little more negative towards some of the movies that they've put out. Fresh start, not meaning fresh start as in they're going to reboot everything. They're not going to do that. But fresh start as in let's start off with a clean slate moving forward. How can we tell the best possible stories that will get the general moviegoers and the Star Wars fans back on board and loving this franchise again, because a franchise uh, with a strong name behind it, with a strong IP like Star Wars, should be doing very well and shouldn't be struggling the way it's been. Looking at all of Disney's properties as far as their movie and entertainment side, you got Pixar, you got Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, 20th Century Studios. Of all those divisions, I feel as though Lucasfilm right now is the weakest. So they will definitely have to do some reevaluation and look to see what they can do to put out better product. What stories can they tell that can draw their audiences back? Because this is definitely the fresh start that they need, and I think Lucasfilm is something to keep an eye on for the next couple of years to see how they're doing. Now, Mandalorian and Grogu, if it ends up being a flop, which I don't see it being, but if it ends up being a flop, I'm obviously not putting that on the new people in charge of Lucasfilm, because they're just now stepping into this role. And that movie, I believe, is in post-production. So, we'll wait and see. Another piece of movie news that came out. It is reported that there is going to be a Paranormal Activity sequel. And apparently it's now slated to come out in the summer of 2027. So, bit of early news as far as this movie. We'll wait and see what the cast will look like, and what the plot will be for it. Again, with my little bone I've been picking as far as horror movies, where if you've seen one, then you've basically seen everything else that's followed in that franchise. Like, for example, if you've seen Conjuring 1, then more or less you've basically seen Conjuring 2, 3, and 4. Same thing with Insidious, etc. Add the Paranormal Activity franchise to that as well. If you've seen the first one, then you've seen all of them, basically, more or less. So, and the last bit of movie news that I have is voting for the 2026 Oscars has officially closed. So, yes, we're in Oscar season, so right now we're all waiting to see who's been nominated for what, and it's definitely an exciting time. I don't have any predictions as of yet, but there is one movie in particular that I'm keeping a close eye on, and I'm hoping someone is watching when I say this, because they are a big Brendan Fraser fan. The movie I'm keeping an eye on as far as Oscar nominations is Rental Family. If you have not seen Rental Family, I highly, highly encourage you to go and check it out. Arguably one of Brendan Fraser's best works. He's done a phenomenal job. A lot of the other castmates, they've done a great job with that as well. I've seen Rental Family, I want to say twice. Yes, I've seen Rental Family twice, because the person I saw Rental Family with, they saw it 10, 11, 12 times. And I'm not joking. That's literally, they saw it that many times. It was in double digits. But that's not making fun of them. I'm not making fun of them at all, because they are genuinely a big Brendan Fraser fan, and they are genuinely excited and love this movie. And I've told them, like, hey, I'm happy for you, because I love that you're excited for this movie, and I love your fandom and your passion for this movie, and that particular actor. So it makes me genuinely happy knowing that they absolutely like adore this movie and they are an admirer of Brendan Fraser's work. So I hope that person's watching. I'm not going to name drop them, but they know who they are. So that will do it for movie news. So now we're going to take a look at what's coming up this weekend. This upcoming weekend, we have 2 new movies opening, Mercy and Return to Silent Hill. Mercy is the new Chris Pratt movie that's being distributed by Amazon MGM Studios. Chris Pratt, in a futuristic world, he basically pushes for and champions an AI judge, which will help them, prosecute and oversee cases. And he somehow himself ends up in the hot seat when his wife ends up being killed. So he gets put into the chair and he has about 90 minutes to prove his innocence before this AI judge rules whether in favor or against him. So this could be a high intense, fun little thriller. So we'll see what this movie looks like when it opens. So again, that's opening this weekend. And another movie opening this weekend is Return to Silent Hill. Yes, it's based off of the video game series, specifically Silent Hill 2. And with this movie, a person by the name of James, he's upset, devastated, because someone he cares about has been separated, and they receive a mysterious letter that leads them to the town of Silent Hill, and there's strange things and all kinds of stuff happening. So if you played the video game, then you're probably familiar with it, with the storyline. The Silent Hill movies haven't really been great, so I don't see too much happening with this movie when it opens in theaters. Now, with the upcoming box office, what will that look like? So I don't have the new Silent Hill movie in the top 5. I don't see it breaking the top 5. Top 10, if it breaks the top 10, it'll probably be the lower half. I don't see the new Silent Hill movie doing much at all. But as far as the top 5, what I'm predicting is number 5 will be The Housemaid. Number 4, 28 Weeks Later, The Bone Temple. I think it's going to have like a pretty big drop off for 28 Weeks Later. Number 3, I think, will be Zootopia 2. I think this could possibly be the last weekend or second to last weekend in the top 5 for Zootopia 2. It's had a great run. It's a fantastic family movie. The children love it. So number 2, I think, will be Avatar: Fire and Ash. The movie started off pretty well when it opened, and then it just doesn't have the legs to carry it to a successful run like the first Avatar movie or the second one, which was Avatar: The Way of Water. It's so far made, like I mentioned, so far it's made 1.3 billion globally. So it's not gonna break the top 5 as far as highest grossing movies all time. I think Avatar is going to drop down to number 2, and I think Mercy will be the number 1 movie after this weekend. So we will see what it looks like by next week. We'll see if I'm correct or if I'm completely off. So, well, with that said, that's going to do it for the weekly show. Thank you so much, and be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And also be sure to check out my schedule that I just released, where for my 2 other shows, Cinema History and Rewind. You'll see a schedule of the different topics that will be discussed here on the channel. So if you see one that you definitely like, obviously, feel free to chime in, or feel free to tune in, check it out, see what we're going to be discussing. So with that, thank you so much, and I'll see you at the movies.